Hello and welcome to things I find interesting that happened today in the past, aka Tifitht Itp. This show is all about the historical events of the past, both recognized by actual historians and ones that I personally find interesting enough to talk about. My information, of course, does come from the smart device application on this day, the icon of which can be seen as cutoff prevention at the beginning and end of this video. Anyway, on with the show! Today is Tears' Day, aka Tears Day, aka Tuesday, December 22nd, 2015. In 2015, oh hey, that's today, SpaceX landed a first-stage Falcon 9 rocket on ground after reaching low Earth orbit at 140 UTS for the first time in history. In 2010, the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, the 17-year-old scheme banning homosexuals serving openly in the United States military, was signed into law by President Barack Obama. In 1992, the Archives of Terror were discovered. Now, whoa, wait a minute. If they were discovered, how come George W. Bush and Obama were elected many years later? In 1990, the Croatian Parliament adopted the current constitution of Croatia. Also in 1990, the Marshall Islands and Federated States of Micronesia enjoyed their final independence after the termination of trusteeship. Also in 1990, Lech Walesa was democratically elected as president of Poland. His victory emerged democratization in other ex-Warsaw Pact member countries in Eastern Europe. In 1989, Berlin's Brandenburg Gate reopened after nearly 30 years, effectively ending the division of East and West Germany. Also in 1989, Communist President of Romania, Nicolae Ceausescu, was overthrown by Ion Iliescu after days of bloody confrontations. The deposed dictator and his wife fled Bucharest with a helicopter as protesters erupted in cheers. In 1988, Chico Mendes, a Brazilian rubber tapper, unionist, and environmental activist, was assassinated. In 1978, the pivotal third plenum of the 11th National Congress of the Communist Party of China was held in Beijing, with Deng Xiaoping reversing Mao-era policies to pursue a program for Chinese economic reform, which led to slave labor, sweatshops, and the future overthrow of the United States of America via buying us out. Brought to you by Walmart, Google, Disney, Nike, and any other well-known name brand. In 1968, during the Cultural Revolution, People's Daily posted the instructions of Mao Zedong that it is, quote, the intellectual youth must go to the country and will be educated from living in rural poverty, end quote. In 1965, in the United Kingdom, a 70-mile-per-hour speed limit was applied to all rural roads, including motorways, for the first time, whereas previously there was no such limit. In 1971, the SR-71, aka Blackbird, flew for its first time at Air Force Plant 42 in Palmdale, California. In 1956, Colo, the first gorilla to be bred in animal prison, was born at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium in Ohio. In 1947, the Constituent Assembly of Italy approved the Constitution of Italy. In 1944, during World War II, the Vietnam People's Army was formed to resist Japanese occupation of Indochina, or as it is known today, Vietnam. Also in 1944, and also during World War II, during the Battle of the Bulge, German troops demanded the surrender of United States troops at Bastogne, Belgium, prompting the famous one-word reply by General Anthony McAuliffe, quote, nuts, end quote. In 1942, also during World War II, Adolf Hitler signed the order to develop the V-2 rocket as a weapon. In 1939, Indian Muslims observed a, quote, Day of Deliverance, end quote, to celebrate the resignations of members of the Indian National Congress over their not having been consulted over the decision to enter World War II with the United Kingdom. Now, I don't want to sound like Donald Trump or anything, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like the Indian Muslims got pissed at their country declaring war against the country killing millions of Jews. In 1937, the Lincoln Tunnel opened to traffic in New York City. In 1891, asteroid 323 Berseria became the first asteroid discovered using photography. In 1885, Ito Hirobumi, a samurai, became the first Prime Minister of Japan. In 1882, electric Christmas lights first illuminated a Christmas tree. Not a holiday tree, not a Hanukkah tree, a motherfucking Christmas tree. So stop with this pussy-ass political correctness. Attempting to remove religion by the holidays by saying Happy Holidays and not Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Fun Kwanzaa or whatever is stupid. Oh, and for all you PC morons out there, holiday literally means holy day, so your vain efforts are self-defeating in the pure nature of what your pea-brains are trying to do. Moving on! In 1864, Savannah, Georgia fell to General William Tecumseh Sherman, concluding his March to the Sea. In 1851, India's first freight train was operated in Roorkee, India. In 1808, Ludwig van Beethoven conducted and performed in concert at the Theater an der Wien, Vienna, with the premiere of his 5th Symphony, 6th Symphony, 4th Piano Concerto, which was performed by Beethoven himself, and Choral Fantasy with Beethoven at the piano. And in 1807, the Embargo Act forbidding trade with all foreign countries was passed by U.S. Congress and the urging of President Thomas Jefferson. Birth, Space Hunter, 1984. And that concludes things I find interesting that happened today in the past. For your dose of Passive and Daily, I am Ayo, you are you. Sorry for the rants. Toodles!